Good morning, everybody. My name is Jason. I am a member at the Puget Sound PMI chapter, one of the volunteers here, and I have an awesome day ahead of us. So our schedule today is going to be just a general welcoming session right now. Sorry about that. So we're going to be, Kayla is going to be talking about building a powerful brand. At 11:15, we're going to be taking a break and transferring over to Zoom for that session that starts at 11:30. And then at the end of the event, we'll find out who won with the gamification prizes. Disclaimers, in meeting etiquette, how to get the most out of PSPMI presentations. The program committee of PSPMI is excited to provide high-quality virtual presentations for the benefit of our members and guests. To enhance the viewing experience, we offer the following suggestions. This event will have video recording and photo capturing used for chapter promotion purposes. Please keep your microphone on mute when not talking. We always welcome questions, comments, or issues during the presentation. Please use the chat box as we will have a facilitator read them off to the presenter. This session is being recorded and will be made available on demand in Zoho platforms for continued access. Thank you for your participation. Introducing Zoho. Zoho Backstage, is an enterprise event management tool to help create memorable event experiences. Microsite, this site provides information about the event, speakers, and agenda. Virtual space, attendees can join and view the sessions here. You can use chat, ask questions, and more. Games to play, profile needs to be public. Or rather, to play the games, you need to have a public profile. So now I get to introduce Kayla Quijas. After 5 years as a cake decorator, feeling stuck in a dead-end job, Kayla Quijas made a bold move. She quit after being asked to return to work after a grueling 12-hour shift. Determined to break into the corporate world, she started as a receptionist at a law firm and rapidly climbed the corporate ladder. Now Kayla is a senior project manager at a global law firm, overseeing one of the largest accounts. Realizing the invaluable role her coaches played in her journey to success, she found her true purpose, inspiring others to escape dead-end jobs and pursue fulfilling careers. Now, as a certified senior career coach, Kayla empowers individuals to make international career transitions. And Kayla, I will let you take it over from here.
What if I told you that being great at your job is not enough to get you promoted? Would you believe me? The truth is, being excellent at what you do is just the foundation. It's the baseline expectation. But if no one knows about your work, if you're not visible to the decision makers in your organization, your career will stall, no matter how talented you are. So today we're going to explore what internal branding really means, why it's essential for career growth, and the practical strategies that you can use to start building your brand immediately. By the end of the session, you'll walk away with tools and techniques to increase your visibility, influence, and impact in your organization so that you can market your skills effectively, position yourself for promotions, and become a key player in high visibility projects. Now, this works if you've been at your company for a really long time, or maybe you're new to the organization. Maybe you're a first-time project manager, or maybe you want to actually get the formal title of project manager. How do I know this works? I know this works because it's what helped me personally go from a project management failure to a senior project manager in under 2 years. In 2021, I was a first-time project manager. I had just gotten my PMP, and I was ready to take on the world. I had the certification. Surely that was the most difficult part, right? I couldn't have been more wrong. Just a few short months into my role, I started to feel that something was off. My stakeholders weren't engaged. People were ghosting my project meetings. I'd make phone calls, but no one would pick up. I was getting absolutely zero traction. And to make matters that much worse, because I wasn't getting any traction, I wasn't making my manager look good. So, about 9 months into my first project management gig, all of this came to a head. As I sat across from my manager in the empty, stark boardroom, I could see the disappointment written all over his face. I knew exactly what he was going to tell me. "You have 90 days to get it together," he told me. "Otherwise, we're going to have to ask you to leave." This was my first project management job. I had studied for months for the PMP exam. I knew the PMBOK front and back. I knew exactly how to find the critical path, and I could calculate earned value like it was nobody's business. But it wasn't enough. What did I miss? As it turns out, internal branding is what I had missed. I had focused solely on the technical aspects of project management, honing my skills, passing the PMP, and learning the methodologies. But I hadn't invested in building my reputation, my visibility, or my leadership presence within the organization. I hadn't built relationships with stakeholders, and I was not positioning myself as a key player. So, what did I do? Well, first, I needed to leave my current organization because once you've been placed on a PIP, it is pretty difficult to come back from that. So, I did just that. I moved to a different organization. But this time, I vowed it would be different. I knew something needed to change. I made it my mission to be seen, to communicate more effectively, to engage my team and stakeholders at a deeper level. I made my work visible, asked for feedback, and started to take on more leadership roles. And over time, things began to change. I started getting more engagement from my team. Stakeholders were returning my calls. My manager began to trust me with higher profile projects. In short, I turned it around. In fact, in less than 2 years, I was promoted to a senior position. I was the last project manager to be hired on my team, but only the second to be promoted to the senior level. And that's the power of building an internal brand. It positions you not just as someone who can execute tasks, but as someone who can influence, lead, and make an impact. So, what is internal personal branding? This refers to how you establish and communicate your professional reputation, value, and identity within your organization. It's about how others perceive your capabilities, leadership, and contributions to the success of projects, as well as your ability to influence, collaborate, and deliver results that are valuable to the organization, which is absolutely critical. For a project manager specifically, internal branding involves building credibility. This is demonstrating your competence by consistently delivering successful projects, resolving challenges effectively, and maintaining clear communication with stakeholders. This also includes visibility, making your accomplishments and skills known to leadership and the people you work with. This is leadership and influence, establishing yourself not just as a project executor, but as a leader who can guide teams, foster collaboration, and drive innovation within the organization. It's also relationship building. This is creating strong, positive relationships with team members, department leads, and other stakeholders to reinforce your reliability and influence within the company. In essence, internal branding is really all about shaping how others within your organization perceive you, becoming known as someone who is not only skilled, but also trustworthy, approachable, and most importantly of all, absolutely essential for the organization's success. A strong internal brand can lead to more opportunities, career growth, and greater influence in shaping key projects and decisions. So, why is personal branding so important if you're already employed? It's so important because you can be the best project manager in the world. But if no one knows who you are, you're never going to get the recognition to land high visibility projects, and your career will absolutely flatline. So, there are three things that create a strong personal brand. Leadership is one of them. A well-defined internal brand positions you as a leader within your organization. When colleagues, and particularly your superiors, see you as competent, trustworthy, and reliable, they're more likely to consider you for promotions, leadership roles, and key projects. Your internal brand highlights your value beyond your day-to-day tasks, showing that you're capable of driving your organization's success. That's really key. A strong brand helps open doors to new opportunities and professional development because decision makers are more likely to advocate for someone that they see as a rising star. Then there's recognition. In a busy workplace, the unfortunate reality is that simply doing good work isn't enough to get noticed. A strong internal brand ensures that your contributions don't go unnoticed. By proactively shaping how others perceive you, your accomplishments are much more visible to the right people. This recognition can lead to greater trust from leadership, more responsibility, and ultimately more influence within the organization. Building your brand helps you stand out from your peers, ensuring that your skills and efforts are recognized and appreciated. Finally, better projects. Organizations, most of the time, often reserve their most important high visibility projects for people who are seen as leaders and really strong performers. A solid internal brand gives you the credibility needed to be entrusted with these critical projects. When leadership knows that you consistently deliver results, manage teams effectively, and communicate well with stakeholders, they're more likely to assign you to projects that have a big impact on the organization. High visibility projects not only showcase your abilities, but also provide a platform for further growth and recognition, creating a positive cycle for career advancement. Now, as you start stepping into leadership roles and building recognition, something very powerful happens. You begin to create momentum. Think of it like a flywheel. The more effort you put into building your internal brand, the easier it becomes to keep it going. This is what I call the flywheel effect. The flywheel effect is a concept borrowed from physics and business strategies. Imagine a very large, heavy wheel that takes a lot of effort to get moving. At first, you're going to have to push really hard to get even a small amount of rotation. This represents the initial work you're going to have to do to build your internal brand, and it is going to take work. This is taking on leadership roles, ensuring visibility, and delivering consistent results. The good news is that as you keep pushing, the wheel starts to pick up speed. Once it gains momentum, each push adds more speed with less effort. In your career, this means that as you take on leadership roles and get recognized for your work, you'll naturally be assigned bigger, more important projects. Success leads to more visibility, and visibility leads to more opportunities. Over time, your internal brand fuels itself. The more you grow, the more growth opportunities come your way, creating a positive cycle that drives your career forward. The key to the flywheel effect is consistency. Once the wheel is turning, you do have to keep pushing, but the effort becomes easier and the rewards are greater. So now that we've talked about the flywheel effect and how it can actually accelerate your career, let's shift our focus to something a little more fundamental, the reason you're all here, your personal brand. The momentum of the flywheel begins with building a strong, clear internal brand at your organization. So, how do you create that brand? What are the key elements that set you apart as a leader and position you for success? Personal brand is more than just how people perceive you. It's a strategic way to showcase your skills, values, and what you bring to the table, what is uniquely you. Your personal brand serves as the foundation for gaining recognition, leading projects, and influencing others. There are several key elements that make up a strong personal brand, and these are the areas you'll want to focus on as you build yours. First, there's your professional reputation. Your brand starts with your work. At the core of a strong personal brand is your professional reputation, what people know and trust you for. Building this reputation comes from being competent, reliable, and consistent in your work. It's about being the person who consistently delivers results, even in the face of challenges. To build your reputation, you need to demonstrate these three things. Competency. You do need to master your craft. You have to keep continuously improving your knowledge and skills in project management. I know it's a lot. It's a lot to keep up with. Keep up with the best practices, keep getting certifications, and ensure that you're always learning. When people know that you're an expert in your field, they're going to come to you for advice and solutions. But from my experience, you guys know that competency alone is not going to do it. There's also reliability. And this is as easy as do what you said you would do. It's critical in project management because trust is so paramount in project management. Meeting deadlines, managing risk, and delivering on promises builds your reputation as someone others can count on. And then there's your leadership ability. Now, this is more than just having a formal title. And I know as project managers, there's a lot of conversations out there about leading without authority. We're expected to get a lot of things done, but we aren't really actually given that much formal power. But it's not about the formal power or the formal title. It's about taking ownership, stepping up when needed, and guiding your team towards success. It's a mindset. It's an attitude. It is making the decision to lead. When you exhibit leadership qualities, things like taking the initiative and being proactive in problem solving rather than waiting for people to ask you to do things, you become a go-to person for key projects. You don't have to be a formal leader to lead. Your professional reputation is built around consistent actions, competency, and a commitment to your reliability. Next is your communication skills. Your brand is how you communicate, not just what you do. Communication is one of the most visible and immediate aspects of your personal brand. People see you first. This is first impressions. It's very important. It influences how people perceive you from the very first interaction. Strong communication skills encompass both verbal and nonverbal communication. And these are equally important in meetings, emails, presentations, or even casual conversations. So here's how you can hone your communication skills. Presenting. When speaking in meetings or delivering presentations, be concise, confident, and clear. Don't speak too quickly. Be concise with what you say. Make sure you stand up straight and project confidence. We could do a whole other session on confidence. I really love this topic, but those are the basics to start getting your confidence going. It's really key when you're presenting to learn to summarize complex information in a way that is really easy for people to understand, especially if you're presenting to very busy people. Remember, it's not about being the loudest voice in the room, but it's about being the most prepared and articulate. The next part of communication here is your ability to influence. This is vital for any project manager. It requires empathy, understanding other people's perspectives, and using persuasive language that aligns with their interests. That's key. I want to outline that. Their interests, not necessarily yours. You are hired as a project manager to push the organization's key projects forward. And if you can't do that, if you can't align with them and their interests, they're not going to have a need for you. The goal is to build consensus and encourage collaboration. And then there's networking. Yes, even if you already have a job, it is very important to network within your organization. Building relationships through communication is absolutely key. Take the time to connect with peers, stakeholders, and leadership. Ask for feedback. Ask what you're good at. Ask what you're not so good at. What do people value about you? Engage in meaningful conversations and be genuinely interested in others' contributions as well. Now, this can be as simple as asking people, how their dog is doing, or, did their child's football team win last weekend? Like, making these personal connections with the people that you work with, particularly in a remote environment like so many of us are in, is very, very important. Effective communication can elevate your visibility and influence within your organization very, very quickly. The clearer and more confident you are in your communication, the stronger your brand is going to be. The third key element here is collaboration. Your brand is reinforced by how you work with others. Collaboration is essential for any organization, especially in project management, though, where working across teams and departments is absolutely necessary on a daily basis. A strong personal brand is built by being seen as someone who fosters collaboration, influences outcomes, and drives team success. This consists of relationship building. Your relationships with team members, colleagues from other departments, and other stakeholders are absolutely central to your brand. Invest time in building positive, trusting relationships with these people by being approachable and willing to help others succeed. I'd like to remind you that being a project manager, your team is more than just your lateral team that you sit on. Your team is anybody that you work with in any department for any project. I can't tell you how many emails or communications I start with, "Hey, team." These people aren't on my team, but I am creating that relationship with them, bringing them into my team, making them feel like they are part of something bigger. Next, we have influencing beyond your actual role. To build your internal brand, aim to influence more than just your immediate team. Collaborate with people in other departments and show that you can add value to initiatives that go beyond your direct responsibilities. Be seen as a problem solver who connects teams and aligns interests across the entire organization. And finally, there is conflict resolution. This is the ability to mediate and resolve conflicts effectively, and this definitely enhances your brand. When others see that you can navigate disagreements and keep your team focused on the end goal, you solidify your reputation as a leader and influencer. So, collaboration really does strengthen your brand. When you're seen as someone who can bring people together and deliver results through teamwork, your influence within the organization is going to grow exponentially. Your personal brand is more than just one thing. Okay, it's a combination of your professional reputation, how well you communicate, and your ability to collaborate and influence. By excelling in each of these areas, you're not only building trust, but also positioning yourself as a leader who can drive the organization's success. And these three key things, consistency overarches all of them. You have to be consistent in the way that you communicate, the way that you collaborate, the way that you put forth your reputation. Consistency is key. Okay, so we are going to talk about some actual practical strategies to build your brand. And at the end, we're actually going to do a bit of an exercise together because I want you guys to take some value away from this. So practical strategies to build your brand. First of all, there is visibility. Step into the spotlight. All right, your work does not speak for itself. I'm sorry to say. You need to showcase it. You need to promote it. You need to market it. Visibility is critical to building your brand. If people don't know about your contributions, they cannot recognize you for them. This is not about bragging. I hear this all the time. I don't want to brag about myself. It's not about bragging. It's about ensuring your hard work gets noticed by the right people. And it's about sharing your knowledge. If you feel like you are bragging, something that I often tell people is you are doing a disservice to people by not sharing your experiences and your knowledge with them. Think about how much you've learned from other people. Think about how much you have to offer. If you are not telling people about these things, they cannot learn from you. And that, quite honestly, I see as a little bit selfish. So step into the spotlight, make sure people can see you. Next, you want to keep raising the bar. Participate in high-profile projects. Volunteer for challenging or high visibility projects where you can make a significant impact. I've seen so many great project managers linger in the shadows because they're afraid of taking on challenging projects. The fear is that if the project fails, then, well, they're going to be seen as a failure, and that's fair, but there's really no reward without some risk. These projects give you the opportunity to demonstrate your skills and leadership to senior management. Don't shy away from them and don't underestimate their ability to really propel your career forward. Choose to lead. This includes presenting in meetings. Don't wait to be called upon. Take the initiative to present updates, results, or ideas in meetings. Even small contributions during team meetings can elevate your presence and demonstrate your expertise. Be concise, clear, and share your communication. And I have to apologize because I've stepped forward a little bit. This is all still about visibility. Share your success. So just to step back a little bit here, for stepping into the spotlight, participate in high visibility projects, present in meetings, very important, share your success, make sure your achievements are visible, update stakeholders on progress, share results in team meetings, and celebrate wins with your team. This can be as simple as sending a quick summary email after completing a major milestone, highlighting the team's success and your role in it. If you're looking for an action step for this, something you can do is right now identify a project or a meeting where you can take the lead in the next 30 days. Step forward and make your work and impact visible. Take the chance, lead the meeting, lead the project. Okay, now competency. Keep raising the bar. Competency is your foundation. Never stop improving. That is critical. Being competent at your job is the starting point for building a strong brand. But to stand out, you need to be constantly evolving and seeking ways to improve your skills. So here's just a few ways you can do that. Pursue certifications and training. I think as project managers, we are pretty well familiar with that, but just keep yourself updated in the latest in project management and the latest in technology and tools. AI being a really key example here. AI, guys, is the future, and I fully believe that those who don't use it are going to fall behind pretty quickly. So keep raising the bar, keep investing in your education. Seek feedback. We talked about this a little bit. Ask for feedback from your peers or your mentors or your supervisors and do it regularly. This shows that you're not just interested in doing a good job, but that you want to improve and being proactive in implementing any feedback that you receive. Finally, if you're going to raise the bar, stay curious. Ask questions. I think people tend to think that asking questions makes it come off as if they don't know what they're doing. It's quite opposite. It shows that you are engaged and that you are thinking critically about the topic. It also shows that you want to be successful rather than just making assumptions and not knowing something because you were afraid to ask a question. Raising the question and asking it in a pointed, concise way is very, very powerful. So, an action step for you guys right now: sign up for a relevant training or certification course within the next 90 days. Start fiddling with ChatGPT and other AI. I actually just created my own custom podcast the other day. It took me 5 minutes. It was amazing. You can go check out my LinkedIn profile. I posted it recently. There's a lot of stuff that you guys can do with AI, and it can make you so much more efficient. All right. Leadership. Choose to lead, even without the title. You don't need that formal title to be a leader. This is one of the most powerful ways to build your brand. You don't need to wait for a promotion to lead. You can take on leadership roles informally by guiding your team, helping resolve issues, or championing initiatives that are important, near and dear to your heart. Couple ways to do this: proactively solve problems. If you see an issue, don't just let it go. Take the initiative to fix it, as long as it is something that your organization sees as important and worth the time. Whether it's a team-related challenge or maybe it's a process that needs improvement, showing that you can take charge and resolve problems will establish you as a go-to leader. You can also mentor or coach others, even informally. Offer guidance and support to colleagues, whether they're peers or junior staff. This is so important to other people as well. I mean, think about your own journey. Wouldn't it be great if you had had a mentor or a coach who was leading the way for you? Do the same thing for others. Teaching others not only helps them grow, but it also reinforces your expertise and your leadership qualities. And finally, take initiatives in meetings. Suggest solutions, volunteer to lead discussions, or help summarize next steps. People are going to remember those things. They're going to remember the person who stepped up when there's a need for direction. Action step for you here. In your next team meeting, take the lead on resolving an issue or helping guide the conversation towards actionable solutions. Or look for a peer or a junior colleague to mentor. Or if you take a certification class and you learn something that's really important, write it down, memorialize it somewhere, share it with your team. That stuff is really important. All right, building strategic relationships. This is internal networking because relationships honestly are the backbone of your brand. Building a strong personal brand requires very strategic networking within your organization. This is not willy-nilly networking. This is pointed networking. Your brand isn't just what you say about yourself. It is what others say about you. To cultivate a positive perception, you need to build and nurture relationships across teams and other departments, not just with your team. Connect with leadership. Make an effort to build relationships with decision makers and senior leaders. This doesn't mean just networking up, but engaging meaningfully in conversations and showing genuine interest in their work or challenges. What are they working on? What is their biggest challenge right now? What are they excited about? People love talking about themselves, quite honestly. So if you can get people talking about themselves, very easy to network that way. Then there's cross-departmental collaboration. Don't just stick to your team. All right, make an effort to collaborate with other departments. And if you can do this proactively before you need someone in another department for your project, all the better. Building relationships across the organization not only broadens your influence, but also positions you as someone who understands the bigger picture and who can work cross-functionally. Finally, use the power of reciprocity. Building your network isn't just about what you can get, it's about what you can give. Look for ways to help others, whether it's sharing knowledge, offering support, or maybe connecting them with someone else in your network. Being a super connector is very powerful. So, action step for this one: identify 3 people outside of your immediate team that you can build stronger relationships with over the next month. Invite them to lunch, offer to collaborate on a project, or just simply engage in a conversation. Right? It doesn't have to be anything huge, but definitely start strengthening your relationships. All right, now we have consistency, the last one on this slide. Reinforce your brand daily. Building a brand, it's not a one-time effort. It's a daily practice. Consistency is absolutely key when it comes to maintaining a strong brand. The small, teeniest, tiniest actions you take every day, how you handle yourself in meetings, how you communicate with others, how you tackle challenges, these things all contribute to how other people perceive you. So be consistent in your actions. Follow through on your commitments, meet deadlines, and deliver your results regularly. Do what you said you would do. Over time, it builds trust and it solidifies your reputation as someone who is dependable and effective. Align your behavior with your brand, right? Ensure that the actions that you take with the brand, ensure that you align your actions, those actions you take with the brand that you're trying to build, right? If you want to be seen as a leader, you have to act like one. You have to take the initiative. You have to communicate clearly and you have to offer guidance when needed. If you want to be seen as a leader, ask yourself, what do I see in leaders? What can I emulate that they are doing? Finally, just leverage your daily interactions, right? Every email, every meeting, every conversation is an opportunity to reinforce your brand. Approach each interaction as a chance to show your competence, reliability, and leadership. I actually, at the beginning of each week, will do a brand check and I will say, these are the 5 ways that I want people to perceive me. I will write it down. So I start my week with that at the front of my brain and I can really prime my actions to align with how I want people to see me. So, action step to reinforce your brand. Set a goal to demonstrate consistency over the next 30 days by delivering on at least 3 key commitments that you've made. Ensure that your behavior aligns with the brand that you're building in every interaction that you have with others. Alrighty, now branding toolkit. We have a few things in your toolkit that you can use. One of them is LinkedIn and your online presence. Now, I used to be terrified to post to LinkedIn, and it's amazing what it has actually done for me at my job. I've had people that I work with comment about my posts, tell me that they love my posts, set meetings with me, high up individuals, directors, partners at the company who didn't know who I was until they saw me posting on LinkedIn. Now they're setting meetings with me, wanting just to get to know me because they like what I'm posting online. Your digital footprint is one of the first places that people go to learn about you, and it's often one of the first places that they see you or get to know you. So, in the professional world, LinkedIn, this is one of the most powerful tools for shaping your personal brand, but it also plays a really key role internally. So, even within your organization, leaderships and colleagues, they might look at your LinkedIn profile to get a sense of who you are or your accomplishments or your expertise. And have you ever looked at a colleague's LinkedIn profile? I definitely know that I have. So make sure you align your online and internal brands. All right. Make sure your LinkedIn profile reflects the same personal branding that you're building internally at your organization. Highlight your key strengths, projects you've worked on. There is a way to add projects on LinkedIn. If you don't know how to do it, I can help you with that. And highlight leadership roles in a way that's make sure it's consistent. All right. We talk about consistency. Make sure it's consistent with how you want to be seen. Showcase your achievements. All right. Regularly update your LinkedIn profile with the projects you're working on or certifications, leadership roles. Fun fact, the more you are active on LinkedIn, the more the algorithm boosts you, the more people are going to see you. So showcase things, use it. Make sure you engage with your network. All right. Connect with colleagues, connect with peers and leaders, both inside and outside of your organization. And outside is just as important as inside. People outside of your organization can actually help you build your brand at your current job. Right? Engage with their posts, share insights, build an online community. This is a very powerful thing to do. This reflects your influence and your expertise if they see you as a leader. So I'd like you all to update your LinkedIn profiles. All right. I know it's something we tend to set and forget, but really take a few minutes, highlight your key projects and achievements that align with your internal brand, and add at least 2 recent accomplishments. All right. It doesn't have to take more than 30 minutes. All right. Internal networking and relationship building. Your internal brand, it's shaped by the relationships you build. We've talked about this a lot. Building strong relationships within your organization, that's what's going to expand your visibility and influence. Your internal network includes not only your immediate team, but as we talked about, colleagues in other departments and senior leadership. So, goodness, sorry guys. Okay, lost track here. Okay, so set up some strategic one-on-one meetings. This is really important. Schedule regular one-on-ones with key stakeholders or mentors or decision makers. All right, use these meetings to share progress, ask for feedback, and offer support. All right, don't just ask for help, give help. This proactive relationship building, it really ensures that people are familiar with you, your work, and your contributions. Now, if regular one-on-ones are a bit overkill, and they might be, don't underestimate the power of sticking your head in someone's office or sending a quick Teams message or even sending them a thank you gift card. When someone has really helped me and really gone above and beyond, I will send people Starbucks thank you gift cards, $10 here and there. Not everybody can do that. And I recognize that. It is definitely a tool or just a thank you card, right? That really means a lot to people. Make sure you're engaging cross-departmentally with other departments and also engage an internal mentorship program. Even if you don't have one formally, create it for yourself. Right? Action step here, identify just one new internal stakeholder or colleague. This is a new one that you don't know within the next month and schedule a coffee chat with them. Offer to help them on a project or just ask them about them. What are they doing? What are they working on? What are they like right now? All right, presentations and meetings. This is another toolkit because every single interaction is an opportunity to reinforce your brand. All right, presentations and meetings, critical moments to showcase your skills, your insights, and your leadership abilities. How you handle yourself in these interactions can leave a lasting impression on your colleagues and partners. So be prepared. All right, make sure you practice, make sure you're ready for it, make sure you look nice. Own the room. All right, whether it's a small team meeting or a large presentation, project confidence and clarity in your communication. Use the opportunities to show leadership, all right? Drive discussions, offer solutions, and present clear next steps. Document and share success, all right? After a successful presentation or meeting or certification, follow up with a summary or action items. This doesn't just demonstrate your professionalism, but it ensures that everyone is clear on your specific contributions and your leadership. So, action step in your next meeting or presentation, prepare a follow-up email summarizing key decisions, action points, and your contributions. Ensure that leadership and influence are clear in your communications. All right. Daily interactions and communication. Your brand is reinforced every day through the way you communicate, right? Every interaction, whether it's an email, a quick conversation, or a formal meeting. It's an opportunity to reinforce your personal brand. And don't let your guard down, because it's crazy how quickly letting yourself, react emotionally or saying something that maybe isn't the best at the time can really damage your brand. All right, be consistent. We've talked about this a lot. Follow up and follow through. Build your brand by being someone who follows up on conversations and delivers on commitments. Do what you said you would do. Active listening. All right, a mentor of mine calls this $1,000,000 listening. It's you listen to someone as if being able to regurgitate what they said is worth $1,000,000. All right, this really strengthens relationships, because when people feel heard, they feel closer to you. So, action step for you: set a goal to improve your follow up communication over the next 30 days by consistently sending action oriented follow up emails after meetings or significant discussions. All right, we are 45 minutes in. Great, we have 15 minutes left. So, none of this is exactly rocket science. All right. Maybe I've presented things a little differently to you today than what you've heard in the past, but really, I don't believe that knowledge is what stands in the way of most people. All right. This is the age of knowledge. You can find a lot of this online. But in my experience as a career coach, what actually stands in people's way is creating a sustainable strategy and taking concerted action. So, today, we're going to take that concerted action. All right. You guys can listen to me gab all day, but I actually want you to get real, tangible value from today's session. So, whip out your smartphone or open a new browser window. Either scan the QR code to go to this website, or there's the website there at the top. It's a little bit of a mouthful. KaylaQCareerCoaching.com/PSPMI. That is going to bring you to a website landing page where you can just download a document. You don't have to put your email in or anything. Just download the document, download the worksheet. This is going to be a fillable, interactive worksheet. All right. So, no excuses not to do it. It works on your phone, it works on your computer. I've tested it. I want everybody to actually do this in real time with me. And we're going to talk through it. And, if you guys want to send it to me afterwards for me to take a gander at it, more than happy to do that. I can always put my email in the chat. And let me actually put in the message the website. All right, so I'm going to give everybody a couple minutes to get there. Scan the QR code, copy and paste the website, go download your worksheet. And why don't you guys give me some reactions? Give me some little emojis, like a thumbs up or something once you've done it, so I know when it's ready to move on. Awesome. There's a thumbs up. Thanks, Mary. Thanks, Deanna. Woo, those go by fast. Sherry, Jason, awesome. I know there's more people here. All right, awesome. Nicole, if anybody's having trouble, please let me know. I tested this a few times, but should work out. Get a few more thumbs up. I know there's more people here. I want to make sure we all really get the opportunity to work on this together. Awesome, Jocelyn. All right. This website it's going to remain active. Thanks, Wendy. So you guys can download this at your leisure, work on it, but we're going to work on it actually together. All right. So First thing that we are going to work on here is just kind of rating yourself in these different areas that we talked about. All right, there's your visibility, your competency, your leadership, your internal networking, and your consistency. All right, so I've provided some prompts for you guys. Visibility first, all right, on a scale of 1 to 5. How visible are you to decision makers and leaders in your organization? Do you regularly share updates? Do others see the impact of your work? All right, 1 to 5. Competence. How well do your skills, knowledge, and work performance reflect your ability to deliver results? Are you recognized for your competence by your peers and leaders? 1 through 5. Leadership. How often do you take on leadership roles, either formally or informally? Do you step up when there's an opportunity to lead, or do you wait for someone to ask you to do something? Do others look to you for guidance? Internal networking. How strong are your internal relationships with peers, mentors, and leadership across different departments? Right? Not just your team, but the entire organization. How well do you collaborate across departments? Do you build connections that can help you gain visibility or access to new opportunities? Finally, consistency. Are you reliable in delivering consistent results over time? Are you seen as someone who can always be counted on? All right. So there is we'll call this our temperature check. All right. Where are we right now? All right. And I know this seems like a long worksheet, but it's really not. I gave a lot of examples and prompts just to help you guys go along. So now that we've done that, we are going to do a SWOT analysis, because what project manager doesn't love a SWOT analysis? All right. So strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, threats. Let's talk about it. We're going to give a comprehensive view of how to leverage your brand for career growth. All right. Strengths. What do you excel at? Which of the 5 areas that we talked about, visibility, competence, leadership, networking, and consistency, did you score really well in, right? Which one was your highest? What specific skills or qualities do others recognize you for? What do they tell you about yourself? How do your strengths contribute to your success in your current role or organization? And in what areas are you consistently relied upon by your peers or leaders? I'm going to give you guys a couple minutes to go over this, and I would really love for somebody to share what they come up with, because we're going to practice what we preach. All right. Visibility. You got to start getting visibility, and to get visible, you have to speak up and be willing to put yourself out there and share with people. So a couple minutes to work on this. And then if someone wants to share, can just pop in the chat. Finally got the download. Good, Elizabeth. All right, just start like shouting out. Just put one of the words there. What is your strength? Visibility, competence, leadership, networking, consistency. Which one do you see as your top strength, or which 2 are your top strengths? Just drop it in the chat. Brag about yourself, guys. Networking. Awesome. Consistency and internal network. Got a double header. That's great. My focus on quality work. Nice. Active listening. Amazing. Networking and consistency. Great, great. I'm recognized as a trusted person to get stuff done. Nice job, Wendy. I'm trusted from leadership in my organization. Great, great. Consistency. Awesome. Awesome. Manisha, competency. Amazing. Mary, visibility and leadership. Awesome. Good job, guys. Great. All right, let's move on to the next one. A little bit harder here to start talking about our weaknesses, but if we don't know what our weaknesses are, we cannot work on them. We just have to identify them first. So, which areas did you struggle with during this self-assessment? All right, you maybe not as visible as you want to be, maybe your leadership or your presence needs a little bit of work. All right, how are those skills or behaviors maybe limiting your career growth? And how have these weaknesses affected your performance or recognition within the organization? All right, guys, safe space here. Drop in the chat just so we can all hold each other accountable. Where do you struggle? And I will start. I would say that I struggle with consistency because it's difficult when you get really, really busy. Being consistent is hard. All right, visibility and leadership. I think, oh, there we go. I think we're starting to get into the, sorry, I'm not quite sure where we got on the weaknesses. All right, confidence. That's a really common one. Jason, I could talk about confidence all day, honestly. Internal networking. I'm a bit shy asking for director or senior leadership for coffee chat or to do a chit chat. Totally get that. It's so difficult to ask these people, right? Networking. Yeah, it is really hard. Visibility and leadership. Okay. Yep. Networking. Yeah, networking, it's really difficult, especially I mean, it's hard for introverts and extroverts. So people who are introverted, it's going to be all that more difficult. I recently read a book on networking for introverts. It was really, really enlightening. So would love to talk about networking for introverts with anybody here who's interested. Leadership. All right. Okay. So we got a little bit all over the gamut, but I am seeing like that networking is hard. Wendy says, I'm an introvert. Yeah, that's challenging. That is really challenging, being a project manager. So kudos to you, Wendy, for being a stellar PM and getting trust from leadership and being an introvert. That's really awesome. A good book, Quiet. All right, I haven't heard of that one, but I'll have to check it out. The one that I read was, I think it was called Networking for Introverts. It was a really good one, so I highly recommend it. All right, let's move on. Opportunities. Okay. Are there upcoming high visibility projects that you can join? Right? Are there mentors, managers, or peers who maybe could help you build your brand? Or are there people outside of your organization who could do that for you? I started a mastermind with people outside of my organization, but in my industry. Oh my gosh, it has been so powerful. It's just 5 people, me and 5 people. We get together once every 2 months. We chit chat, we support each other. Oh, it's like one of the best things I've ever done. Are there professional development opportunities that are, you guys are here, all right? So you can all mark that down as a win. You're here developing your internal branding skills. So that's awesome. Anyone want to share any like upcoming trainings that they're thinking about? I love trainings. I'm such a nerd. I love trainings. I love books. I like am constantly podcasts, like sucking all these things in. Smartsheet just had Engage last week, which is their like 3 or 4 day thing. I've been to that before. It's really, really good. Highly recommend that for anyone who uses Smartsheet and loves it like I do. Or any projects that you guys have seen, any processes that you've seen at your organization that are broken, that you're like, oh man, that could really, that could go a little better. Thanks for sharing, Elizabeth, the title, Quiet, the Power of Introverts in a World That Can't Stop Talking. Tons of broken processes. What organizations don't have broken processes? Oh my goodness. So if it is equally important to your organization and you have the time and you have the resources, get in there, work on those processes. That's a really great way just to be seen as someone who takes the initiative and gets stuff done. Anybody else? Any training initiatives or certifications? I'm always interested in this sort of stuff. Azure AI training. Cool. All right. Yeah. Boss is such a fantastic leader. She connected me with a senior director that works remotely in my area in Seattle. My team and boss is out of San Jose. She's encouraging me to have coffee with him. Yay, that's great. Yeah, if you can get someone else that you know to make that connection for you, so powerful. It takes the onus off of you, really, and gives it to somebody else. They make that connection for you. That's great. My two projects are integrating new aspects that are new to the company. It's a plane while flying. I always say it's building the bus while it drives. Yeah, I totally get that. A little intimidating when I'm new to the project and project management, but it's a fantastic learning opportunity. The way that you reframed that, Deanna, yeah, it's so scary. It's so scary. Like when you're asked to do a new project, particularly when you're a new project manager, it is terrifying. But when you look at it as a learning opportunity, that's amazing. And to talk about confidence a little bit, actually confidence comes from taking those opportunities and either, overcoming it, or if you fail, that's okay. You learned. All right. This is the root of confidence. I could talk about it all day, but I won't. Okay. Threats. All right. What challenges exist in your organization that might hinder your growth or visibility? I can share first. I am always concerned that one of my main stakeholders will retire. For me, I see that as something that could really hinder my career growth where I am right now. So based on that, I know that I need to create strong relationships with other people because, eventually this person will retire. So I need to know that could happen. But as long as I'm thinking of that threat, as long as I'm aware of it, then I can really come up with ways around it. Jason, I'm working on gaining hands-on project experience to become a strong project manager. Amazing. Yep. Elizabeth, the downside of taking initiative, refixing processes, potential for pushback from coworkers who aren't similarly engaged. Okay, so I'd love to hear a little bit more about that. Is that your team members who aren't engaged, or is it the people who are part of the processes? Elizabeth, you could always reach out to me on LinkedIn if you wanted to, and we could talk a little bit more about that because I do have some tips for you that might help. All right, don't push it, but we could poke and prod. Struggling with resource constraints, high team stress, and team personality conflicts. Yeah. Oh man, that last one particularly. I mean, those are all very difficult. Elizabeth, team members primarily. The lead is good with it. Yeah, team members. Okay. I would love to hear more about that from you, Elizabeth. I'll bring up my LinkedIn profile at the end of this so you guys can reach out to me if you'd like and we can talk a little bit more about it. Okie dokie. Now, the real good things here, I want you guys to set a goal. All right, one goal, right? I want to get promoted to senior. I want to secure a new position. I want to get the formal title of project manager. I want to earn a 10% raise. I want. What do you want to happen in the next 6 to 12 months? All right. There's so much out there about goal setting and writing it down. I think, please don't quote me. You guys can Google this afterwards, but I think writing down goals boosts your potential of actually achieving it by something like 30%. I think that's approximately right, but it is a lot. Writing it down, it is a lot. So Write it down, guys. Even I know this might feel kind of like silly and why are we doing this? But really, it has a huge effect. Like I want you guys to be successful. All right. So if anyone wants to share too, I'd love, yeah, awesome. I want to have the title of project manager. Awesome. Jason, Wendy wants a 10% raise and to become a senior project program manager. Nice. Cool. These are great goals. What else? Who has a goal they want to share? One of my goals, it's kind of pie in the sky, but one of my goals is to always have a job available to me, to always have somebody who will offer me a job or will have a job or know of a job. Like for me, that's just a sense of support for myself is knowing where that next job is coming from. So that is, that's kind of a rolling goal for me because, jobs come and go. So anybody else? Got one more minute here. I want you guys to set 2 action steps. I want a new position. Awesome. Michelle, do you know what it is? What is that new position? Just any new position? I want you to get specific about it. Like what title do you want? The more specific you are, the better. All right, Elizabeth, goal, volunteer as a PM at a local business trying to solve a problem. Awesome. Elizabeth, I'd love to know, from my perspective, that seems like an action step, which is a beautiful action step. But is that the end goal, like volunteering as a PM, or is it that you want PM experience? Is there something else there? A PM at a larger org, cool. I want to network with the right recruiters. That's a good one. That's a really good one. Yeah. All right. What are your 2 action steps that you're going to take? Title bump to project manager, become a recognized PM resource for my team. Awesome. To broaden my experience. Okay. Got it. All right. You want to broaden your experience. Nice. So Elizabeth, you already have one of your action steps. Volunteer as a PM at a local business, trying to solve a problem. Okay. Mary, move to a new agency and get promoted to VP. Awesome. Awesome. All right, guys, write down some action steps. We are exactly at time. Thank you so much for letting me share with you guys. I'm really passionate about this. I'm passionate about project management and about coaching and mentoring people. It's something that I really, really love. So thank you so much. Oh, let me put up my LinkedIn profile for you guys real quick. I'll drop it in the chat so you guys can reach out to me.
Excellent. Thank you, Kayla.
All right, there we go. Thanks for the
Do you have
reminder,
time for-
Elizabeth.
Do you have time for a couple questions that came up in our chat?
You guys have time for questions, then definitely.
All right.
I don't want to overstay my welcome.
Somebody had asked if we can have access to your slides.
Yeah, sure. I'll send those around. Jason or Julie, let me know like the best way to coordinate that. I'm fine with sending them over. But yeah, I don't know everybody's email addresses.
And another question that we had is, how might we work with you on your personal branding? Do you provide master classes or one-on-one sessions?
Yeah, so my LinkedIn profile there is a way to schedule a meeting with me. Also, if you were on my website, which a lot of you, got the download from there, there's a little place at the top that says apply to work with me. This is how you just get in contact with me. We'll chat for a few minutes. Yes, I do master classes. I do one-on-one coaching, kind of do all of those things. And I absolutely love it. So would love to hear from you guys. Yeah, Deanna, you're totally welcome. Thanks for giving me your time today, guys, on a Saturday morning. Kudos to you for being here.
Awesome. Thank you, Kayla. And we do have one more. How do you build your brand on LinkedIn without doing too much?
Without doing too much. So that begs the question of like, what is too much? Is there fear of like coming off as bragging, or is there fear of spending too much time on it? Personally, I don't think there's too much. So whoever it was that asked that question, if you want to reach out to me on LinkedIn and get a little more specific about like what you define too much as, I'd be happy to talk more about that. But with the algorithm of LinkedIn, like more actually is better. The more you participate, the more you fiddle with your profile and change some things and network with people and even messaging people, like it's going to boost your visibility, which is going to boost, the people that see you. It's going to boost your brand. So reach out to me. Tell me what you think about that.
Awesome. And I believe that was all of the questions that we had.
Awesome. Well, thanks again for having me. I really appreciate it.